everybody struggles more, including Jalen Hurts. Nobody wants to play in that. There's 3 years where Philadelphia's not nice in January, generally. Now, 2017's not, but 2022 and 2024, 22, it ran through Philadelphia. 24, it ended up running through Philadelphia. They generally win games, so, I mean, but does he play as well as he does in a pristine environment? I don't think anybody does.
We got plenty of super chats. We will get to all of them here today on the show. Appreciate everybody. As always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We appreciate that. Birds get the win yesterday, moved to 8-2 on the year. John, they just keep winning, man. They just keep winning no matter how it looks. The Eagles in a great spot, John, coming off a big win versus the Detroit Lions, now with the Cowboys on the horizon.
Yeah, I've had, you got to talk yourself into somebody being competitive against this team, I guess, at this point. But they have had a history of struggling down there, so it'll be a nicer environment. Maybe we'll finally see some offense. Because Dallas can generally score some points, but struggles defensively. So keep talking about it, potentially. But the weather showed up in Green Bay. The weather showed up here. Nice environment. Maybe we'll see some offense.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, Johnny Mac. I don't know. I'm not going to count on it, but it could be coming. Let's go to some super chats, John. We got to get to the great people. Look at this. Kyle Studer, $50. Kyle, thank you, man. I appreciate the support of the channel and the show. As always, means a lot. We appreciate everybody for supporting the show. Kyle says, just win. I don't give a shit that Baker Mayfield threw 41 touchdowns last year. I want to win. Jalen's first Super Bowl, best player on the field. We lost the game. People forget that winning is all that matters until they start losing. Kyle, thank you for the super chat, brother. I think it's a good point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the people are greedy. It's human nature. They want it both. They want to win and they want style points. But, my question is, which one do you really want?
Yeah, but it is fair to have some level of expectation. Okay, you can say now that we're greedy because we're winning so much and we want better. But before the winning or putting that on the shelf for a second, it isn't unfair to expect a little bit more from an offense that's paid like they are, that's talked about like they are, that's got the talent that they have. I know you've started to shed light on they're not as good as everybody thinks they are, but
well, that's just demonstrated performance.
Fair,
I mean, whether you want to call it, and I know what people want to blame the coaching staff. I think let's be honest. They could score a lot of points with a certain style of quarterback, but they don't play that style of football. So that's why I say, again, what do you want? What do you really want? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to fans in general. And this is not a Philadelphia-centric thing. It's not fair that when you're a good team, as New England was for many years, as the Eagles are now, it's not bad to have higher expectations of yourself. That I'd argue that's a good thing. And the Eagles have pretty high expectations of themselves. I don't think that's necessarily bad, but the idea in this bad teams, fan bases still want to win, and they want to win while they're looking good. It's just human nature more than anything else. The Eagles have found a way to win by being ball security conscious. Extra ball security conscious. They found a cheat code and it's working. 588 passes, 2 interceptions. I'd say it's working. Doesn't always look pretty. You're not going to take a lot of chances. So it's going to be a slog.
Yeah, and we're getting late in the year now, John. We're going into week 12 here. So it's like, through the first couple of weeks, you could be like, we got a long way to go. We got a lot of people on the schedule. Well, we're knocking down the pins left and right. I mean, I remember, John, late in the year last year, you were like, there's not that many more wins to be had, so they can certainly get there. Not at that point yet, but certainly getting closer, especially considering some of the teams that we've beat this year, all the best teams really in the NFC, as Jeff Kerr pointed out. So good stuff there. I appreciate it. Here's JD3. What's up, JD? Rossini might as well have headlined it. Carson Wentz without the religion. J-Mac told us that news weeks ago. That was months ago.
I probably shouldn't have said it that way. But what I meant by that, because people get upset, what I meant by that is Carson's a very religious person. And I don't know if Jalen is or isn't. I don't even want to, because he might, that might be insulting to him as well. I probably shouldn't have phrased it like that. What I meant to say was they're very similar personality-wise from the standpoint of how others are reacting to them. That's all I meant to say. So there's a little, with Jalen, there's a little aloofness, or that's what it's considered, or that's how he comes across. I think you could see that as fans. And players feel the same way. Some, not everybody, but some players feel the same way. That's it. It's not that big of a deal. It's not, I say it all the time. Round up the next 70 people you meet, see if they all get along. Not going to happen. Never going to happen. I don't know why people think football teams it's any different.
Certainly a little bit of a bigger importance there, though, when you're the leader of the offense, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a position that demands leadership by its very nature. So you do, and he does a lot of good leadership things as far as on the field and things like that. But there is a part of that position where Nick describes it from his perspective. He knows, like, everybody wants a piece of his time. So he tries to include everybody, he tries to glad hand everybody, for lack of a better term. It's almost like a politician. Everybody wants a piece of your time. Josh Shapiro was out there yesterday taking photographs with the fans. Not quite to that level, but you have to be part politician as well when you're an NFL quarterback.
It's true. Maybe an undertalk.
And by the way, that's not only to the outside world, which I think he handles fine in front of the camera and all that, but to the inside as well.
Here's Blaze. Blaze is pushing back on you, John. He says, since when are our expectations to score 20 points with this offense? This shit is pathetic. Way too much talent to not score, especially on bad defenses.
Well, again, the last 2 weeks, I don't know if you played bad defenses. Certainly not Green Bay. You could argue what Detroit is, but they have some good players. They're just banged up. But I don't think you're factoring the weather. They didn't score either, Green Bay or Detroit, to a lesser degree.
That's good context, but you gave that at the start of the show.
So, and then the part of just everybody defaults to that, and I ask a simple question. Where's the demonstrated performance of this great offense? You can go back to 2022. That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah.
They played a different style. Even back then, they played a different style of offense. Where's the demonstrated performance in the Saquon Barkley era with this passing offense? You're just making it up.
Yeah, you're right. We're buying the talent assembled, I think, is but you're right. There's no demonstrated performance of it. Blaze, the only thing I would push back on you here is the Lions are not a bad defense, and neither are the Packers. So that's the
Packers have a great defense.
Amazing.
The Lions are good when they're healthy. They're not healthy.
But still, they're still a solid defense. I mean, they're not.
It's not terrible. Not by no means is it terrible.
No, Jack Campbell's a good player. Those corner. I thought Rock Ya-Sin had a great game. I mean, he was in man coverage on AJ.
So did the other corner.
The other guy, Meek Robertson.
Yeah, Meek. I love Meek Robertson.
He's good.
I think he's a good player. They just threw him out there.
You said that when we talked about Arnold. Yeah, you did.
He's that's one where they kind of didn't know what they had, threw him out there, and he's pretty damn good. He's a cover guy.
Fair enough. Philly Eagle says, does Jalen have a problem playing in cold weather games? The past two games, he's missing easy throws, and the ball appears to be heavy leaving his hands. I think it's fair, and it was something we talked about before the last game, and has looked that way in the last two. John, your thoughts on it?
Well, again, did the other quarterback struggle? I think everybody struggles
Yeah,
more.
right.
That again, yes, partially everybody struggles more, including Jalen Hurts. Nobody wants to play in that, but do the Eagles typically? Again, there's 3 years where Philadelphia's not nice in January generally. Now he was 2017's not, but 2022 and 2024. 22, it ran through Philadelphia. 24, it ended up running through Philadelphia. They generally win games, so I mean, but does he play as well as he does in a pristine environment? I don't think anybody does. Anybody. Why would they?
Fair enough. Here's Alexander Harris. What's up, Harris? Appreciate it, brother. Jalen Phillips is amazing. He had a good game against Penei Sewell. I loved what you said in the postgame show last night, John. You can't let Phillips walk, and they're going to have to switch some of that money to the defense. Agreed. I think that's becoming very
Well,
evident.
that's circumstance. I mean, Howie knows that, and he's explained it multiple times. It's circumstance. They have a lot of veteran players on offense that have played well, so they're on their second and third contracts. That's when you get paid in this league. So much of their talent on defense is still on rookie contracts. That was always going to change due to circumstance. Where you get into the difficult decisions is, when you talk about, well, you have Nakobe Dean versus Jahad Campbell. Well, you took Jahad Campbell in the first round. You're going to play him. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Long term, not short term. Eventually, when guys like Jalen Carter are up and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they're going to have to pay him. And it's going to shift. And that means you got to take away from the offense, which, judging by its performance, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But we'll see how it shakes out.
Yep, no doubt. Harris, appreciate the super chat, my man. Here's Eduardo checking in, start of the show. Eduardo, thank you, brother. I'm spiking the ball on both of y'all today, gents. I told you, J-Mac, that Sonic and Knuckles wouldn't do much against JD and Carter. I told you, Zander, that our defense would hold the Lions to 10 points. Eduardo, fair enough, my friend. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I still think that's a bad prediction, but, the weather turned your way. It helped. But, I still think they did a nice job against the Lions in the run game, no doubt about it. But Gibbs was still pretty impressive in space. Everybody was in awe of that dude. Everybody on your favorite team was in awe of that dude. They're like, oof.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm watching him run. He makes guys miss. It looks so easy. I mean, he just runs right around them. You don't see that in the NFL.
You should have heard the defensive guys talking about him, man. Oof.
Sure they were. Yeah. No doubt. Eduardo, appreciate it, brother. Here's Black Panther. I hope this isn't true, but what if it's Jalen out there changing plays and not running the plays the offensive coordinator is calling?
No, not the case. Not the case. Impossible. I brought this up with the road conversation, and I saw my buddy Billy C. used to be on JAKIB Sports doing a good job over at the Fanatic. And even he says he probably should have worded it a different way. Like, when you talk about the 4th and 6th playing Green Bay, which is a bad decision by the quarterback, non-confirmation, confirmation challenge, and AJ probably changed the play at the line of scrimmage. They shouldn't have done it. But understand, he has that autonomy. He can do that. That's why. Think about it. If you're truly freelancing, if you're truly going rogue, and it's just Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, well, how does the offensive line know to protect for that particular play? No, they knew because it's built into the play call.
Right.
Now, should he have done it in that situation? No. So, to me, it's as simple as that. It's a bad decision. It's impossible for an NFL quarterback to just make up shit on the fly, especially in the modern game. where everything is so structured. Everybody's got to be on the same page. And you see it. If anybody's freelancing, you see it more on defense because it's easier to freelance on defense. As a quarterback in the modern game, it's all about how much autonomy you have. Some quarterbacks are not capable of doing anything, so they don't even have the autonomy to run a different play. Jalen has gotten to the point where he's got that. Now, if he keeps making decisions like that, and maybe late in games, they'll take it away from him. But no, he's not out there changing plays. There's not an audible in the NFL that isn't built into the original play call.
Fair enough. Good stuff. Philly to Chicago checks in, says, J-Mac said it a long time ago. Adding a quality edge rusher would bring it all together, and has it ever. As good as the defense was, is as bad as the O was, though. Fair enough.
Yeah, they got their ace, man. They got their ace. And you see it Nolan still is on a pitch count, so I think he played like 20 reps yesterday. Jalen Hunt's still playing more because he's healthy. That's the best I ever saw Jalen Hunt play. And instead of Nolan being your ace, you got to throw out there every 5. Now you have a true ace, and he could be the number 2.
Yeah.
And Jalen can be the number 3, and all of a sudden everything falls into place.
I'm getting Jalen Phillips signed ASAP when the offseason comes.
They're not signing. Oh, yeah. Good. I'm glad you finished that. They're not signing him in season.
No.
If he continues to play like this, they'll bring him back.
Yeah. Here's Pizzaltz. What's up, Pizzaltz? Finally coming around to this is just who they are on offense. You and me both, Pizzaltz. It is what it is. Eagles have given themselves a huge cushion and have about every tiebreaker. I trust Jalen's play will elevate in the playoffs. The no-holes defense is way back. It really does look good, man. The defense is back.
Yeah, I mean, the past couple of weeks, and it's looked as good as it was last year, maybe even better in certain issues. We'll see if they can do it consistently. I do think, it's going to be, and again, 4th time I'll say it, I'll probably say it 5 more times. The weather had something to do with it. That had something to do with it. I do think in Dallas, you're going to have a pristine environment. Both offenses will play better. Dallas will play better than Green Bay and Detroit, and the Eagles will play better than the Eagles played in Green Bay and at Lincoln Financial Field. That's just the nature of playing indoors. They'll probably close that thing. In a pristine environment. It's just easier for the offense.
Yeah. Probably will get some sun glare and
you might get they might have to put the curtain up.
But, yeah, right.
Maybe you lose a football in the sun, but yeah, it's much easier to play offense there than it is in 30-degree temperatures with 40-mile-an-hour winds. I mean,
and here's Q the guy on. He says, rain, sleet, or snow, fire Patullo.
Oh, I know. That is literally the worst thing you could do. I don't even care. You can fire him off after the season. If you did not learn by 2023 and Sean Desai, who was not prepared to be a defensive coordinator, but there's nothing you can do at that point. So if you want to fire him, fine. Wait to fire him in the offseason. Do not do it in season.
Do you think Kevin Patullo is prepared to be an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I don't think there's any issues.
You don't think he's like anywhere in the Desai realm?
No. I saw Howie Roseman telling Sean Desai what personnel groupings to throw in practice. No, Kevin is.
Did you get hired then?
That's a good question. It's a good question. Not prepared.
Wild.
Yeah, no.
Here's Vitality. He says Quinion.Mitchell. Yeah, he's amazing, dude. Quinion might be one of the best corners in football this year.
Yeah, he might be I think he's the best right now. Best cornerback in football.
Even with him playing a lot of zone?
Yeah, because so much of the Eagles is zone with man match coverage within
Right.
the zone. So it ends up, people don't even know if they're playing because it looks like man, even though it's zone. So and Vic deserves credit for coming up with that scheme as well, but the players deserve more credit because it's kind of freaking complicated, at least compared to other teams. And that's what you saw with Sean. Sean was trying to run the same thing, but he couldn't teach it. Vic knows how to teach it. Yeah, he's having a phenomenal year. Like early in the season, even he was getting away with a lot of shit. He's pulling jerseys,
He
and I
still gets
said,
away with
"Well,
it, for sure.
but then you start getting the reputation, and that's like what Rock Ya-Sin, who also handled that PI call pretty well. He said, "Yeah, basically said I'm Rock Ya-Sin, and that's AJ Brown. Sometimes the guy with the reputation is gonna get the call,
Yeah, it's true.
and." And Quinyon's getting the reputation of being one of the best corners in football, and he's starting to get the benefit of the doubt, and that's going to make him even better. But he's a great player, great player.
No doubt. Vitality, thank you, brother. Here's Black Baptist. Love y'all. Hard Knocks can't come soon enough. Black Baptist, love you too, brother. Appreciate it. I got news for you, though. I don't think the Eagles are going to allow much to be said in the Hard Knocks. Now they'll paint a picture. They'll do it, but
They'll definitely paint a picture.
I don't think the Eagles organization is going to allow too much to be in that thing.
Yeah, I don't know how they work that thing.
I'm pretty sure the team can nix anything, can't they?
I don't know, but I've checked out on Hard Knocks a long time ago. Got very formulaic. I said that last week.
Yeah, I
basically the same show every week, every year. So, and everybody, I'm there every day. I see what's going on. I don't need to see
for you. It makes sense,
but it'll be fun for the fans, no doubt about it.
Josh B says going to be a Denver versus Eagles Super Bowl, and it's going to be so boring. LOL.
It might be, but the Eagles are going to win that one. They're not going to lose the rematch. You should hope for a Eagles Denver Super Bowl. That's going to be an easy.
He's a good coach.
Probably not as easy as last year's, but that's going to be an easy one.
Here's Sean Shooter. Quick jerk and Allen. May is better. Pat 6. Oh, come on, Shooter. Brandon got down. Bird Gang says whether AJ gets 3 targets or 11, this offense is still dog shit. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I don't like people who are like, you target AJ, look at what happens. It's like whether they targeted AJ or not, the offense blows. Nothing changed.
Yeah, I think the offense ineffectiveness or blows or however you want to describe it is related to the philosophy more than anything else of how they play.
Agreed. Here's Pumper. Old man Hurts got our offense in shambles. Buddy airmails everything. Send this dude to permanent timeout on the bench. Tanner got this.
You don't bench quarterbacks who've won how many
27 games.
Yeah. You don't and have the top seed in the NFC. That's not when you bench quarterbacks. I mean, come on, Pump. You gotta wait for a couple losses, buddy, before you push the Tanner train.
Yeah, a lot of people are. We had some people in the post game last night, John, that were calling for it. Here's Zeal. Eagles don't beat themselves. They are with the penalties, killing this offense with all the 3rd and longs they cause. What is the issue, and what are they doing to address it? It's fair enough. A lot of penalties, John, right now for this team.
Well,
offensive penalties.
A couple false starts on tush pushes.
Yep.
No.
Blaine got called on a play.
Blaine got caught on holding. I mean, holding is, when the quarterback tries to escape, they should be called for holding more than they are. I don't know why people are complaining, because when the quarterback's, you can't see as an offensive lineman which way he's going. So generally, this happens all over the league. You can watch other games where the quarterback escapes, and the offensive lineman, and all of a sudden the defensive lineman is trying to disengage because he sees the quarterback, and and all of a sudden you're caught holding because you have no idea where the freaking quarterback is going. Yeah, I don't see them. You watch other games, man. This fucking league is over legislated. There's penalties all over the place. It's a shit show. You either get a big kickoff return or there's a penalty, one or the other. And usually, a lot of times, there's a big kickoff return that gets called back. There's so many special teams penalties. Trotter got caught twice. This is not rare. This happens to every team.
Zeal, thank you, brother, for the chat. Here's Blaze. I think I read that one already. Yeah, we did. Tyler says, I don't think it's unfair to ask the offense to do what they are supposed to do, to generate points when the defense is giving you multiple chances to do so.
All right, you've got the best offense in this generation. And I'm saying this too much, but I'm going to say it again. The Detroit Lions have the best offense of this generation of football, or this span, whatever you want to call it, 4 years. The best offense by far. They scored 31 points a game coming into last night. You don't think the weather had anything to do with that? Now, the Eagles did a phenomenal job.
Well, the weather did have something to do with it, but don't we have a much larger sample size that the offense has been pretty bad?
Yeah, the Eagles, because of their risk-averse philosophy. But the point I'm trying to bring up with the Lions is, guess what? They had a bad game too. Green Bay had a bad game too. Green Bay and Detroit had worse games offensively than the Eagles. They had better offenses, in theory. Green Bay, top 10 offense coming into that game. Detroit, top 10 offense coming into the game, scored 31 points a game. They had bad games. The Eagles actually had better games. Well, it depends. I mean, the Lions outgained them, but that's because they're throwing it 100 times and they're behind the whole game. I mean, look, I'm not saying the offense is good, but I think and that's the nature of people following the NFL, to overstate what happened most recently. And what happened most recently to the Eagles is they played in 2 shitty weather games. Now, they've scored over 30 points a couple times. They've had a perfect passer rating. They've scored over 30 points 3 times. Now, some of that's helped by block field goal. Some of that's helped by block punt. They just dominated the Giants. They had a perfect passer rating against the Vikings. Like, there has been moments of good offense. Not enough. But I think people overstate what happened most recently. And that's why I say, look, if they score 10 points in Dallas in that environment, or 16 points or whatever, in that environment, I think it's worse than what happened yesterday or what happened 2 weeks ago in Green Bay. Everything is not in a vacuum. Both teams struggled. The point is, and you happen to be playing both good offenses, undoubtedly good offenses, consistently good offenses. Maybe they weren't as good as they usually are because they both lost their great tight ends. And that was a little bit of luck for the Eagles. Green Bay lost Kraft. They lost Laporta. Maybe they weren't the same team offensively. I think they're going to struggle a little bit, not like they did last night. But I'm like, you got to realize those games were difficult for both offenses. Eagles, Lions, Packers, all 3 offenses. Difficult games. That's all I'm trying to say.
Fair. Here's Pumper. Can Hurts act like he gives a damn out there? He looks dazed and confused. Buddy, why don't you watch film instead of picking out your game day kicks? Man, Pumper's coming for Jalen again today.
He always comes from Jalen. Yeah, I could care less about the game day kicks. Jason Dumas loves them, though.
He does. Jason Dumas does love them.
What?
Here's Blaze.
Who gives a
It's
shit?
just so hard to watch this offense. Winning is great, but man, brutal. Carried by the defense again. Dean covering Gibbs and Williams, top notch. Yeah, Dean was amazing yesterday, dude.
Yeah, he did have a couple decent coverage plays as well. They were playing Campbell in coverage, and then they later in the game they went to Dean. He had a big time game. Yeah, I don't like that matchup long term, but he had one nice rep. I don't like that matchup. Yeah, I can't scout off one play, but it was a nice play. Nice play.
Yeah, no doubt. Blaze, thank you, brother. And Harris says, are you guys surprised by how good of a game Phillips had against Sewell, though? I was a little surprised, to be honest. He dominated. Good game.
I mean, I have to watch it again. I got home at 3:30 in the morning. I haven't watched the game. There were some splash plays. My hunch is it's not going to look as good from play to play because Panay's really good, but that's just a hunch. I gotta watch the game again. But either way, Jalen Phillips is a big time player, and he's going to pay dividends for the Eagles.
No doubt. He really looks good. Nakobe Dean coming off a major knee injury out here covering Gibbs and Williams, wreaking havoc out there. Dude is a beast. Pay him, Howie.
Well, he's not covering dude. Come on, guys. Yeah, he's playing great though. He's playing great. And really it's about instincts and physicality. Really physical player. Which is, again, the silver lining, I think, of his injuries. Not only the patellar, but before with the Lisfranc, is he couldn't work out his lower body, so all he did was work out his upper body. And he's completely different from when he showed up. He's always short, but for a linebacker, but he's big now. He's a big dude, big physical dude. And you add that to his instincts, he's a really good player. But, yeah, he's not matching up with Jason Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Well, he did a couple times last night, I think is what people are talking about. But
exactly.
Overall, it's not a matchup you want.
Yeah, that's not something that you want to do. But, yeah, don't scout one play.
Fredo says AJ is ranked 134th in the NFL in getting separation. Where the hell do you get that stat?
Yeah, I don't know where he's getting it, but there's a lot of those stats. I know Next Gen Stats put out, he or Devontae had a bad day getting separation. But, part of that is so many teams play zone, and Detroit's one of the few that plays man. So Detroit's playing right off the bat, they're going to have better. That's why I don't like stats like that. Right off the bat, they're going to have better numbers when it comes to separation because they're trying to press cover.
Different style of defense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think those stats, now they're meaningful. AJ's not playing as well, bottom line, as he typically does. But yeah, I don't like those stats. A lot of context is missed in that.
Here's Dwayne. He says, I'm still in awe we were able to get Phillips.
Yeah, the Dolphins should be ashamed of themselves, but hey, bad teams do bad things.
Harris says the Hard Knocks episode is going to be a whole show of everybody walking around. That's about what I'm expecting.
Eeyore. He put Eeyore walking around. AJ.
Eeyore walking.
That's going to get back. That's going to bite me in the ass. Because I started calling, it's like the Temu off season. I started calling AJ Eeyore because, he's not happy. But that's fine. He's, I think everybody knows why he's not happy. I think everybody understands it. But, I mean, at some point, like Jeffrey Lurie, calling him over in this performative fashion, hey, dude, it's about more than you right now. And, we'll revisit it. If you want to go somewhere else in the offseason, I'm sure they'll accommodate him.
Harris, appreciate it. A little Eeyore from, what's that from? Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh.
There you go. Dwayne says, also, I think Fred Johnson don't get enough credit. Dude single-handedly saved us against the Rams and came in last night and played very well. Dwayne, good pull by you. I think Fred deserves a lot of credit for sure.
Yeah, the Big Fred package. Even before Lane went down, they were using them a lot. As him playing the extra tight end. Now, you know, they didn't run. They didn't do anything that effectively. But then second straight game, he had to come in for Lane and play significant snaps. So, yeah, he's doing a good job.
Good stuff there. Dwayne, appreciate it. Last one here. Abe says, I'm already thinking about Carter versus Booker.
Yeah, I'll take Carter in that one.
Yeah, me too. All day. All right, good stuff. Appreciate everybody for all the super chats today. A lot of support on the show. Birds get the win again. John, anything from the game that we didn't talk about today that we got to talk about? We talked about the offense, talked about the defense. Jake Elliott deserves some credit. 3 big kicks in that windy weather. Well done by him. Anything we missed, J-Mac?
I think we got it all. Maybe because it didn't come up because they won the game, but I still think that 4th and 1 is egregious at your own 30-yard line, up 2 scores. Like, that's the only way they can get back in the game. Like, I think that's one of the worst Nick Sirianni decisions ever. Seriously, as a head coach. There's only one way they can get back in that game, and that's stopping you on 4th and 1. If you punt it away, it's going to be too time consuming unless you completely break down on defense and you're playing a great game defensively. So I thought that was really a poor decision, but it doesn't matter much when you win the game.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Johnny.
It's about your process. Nick will always say it's about the process. So, it works both ways. When it works, doesn't mean it wasn't a bad decision, and it was a very bad decision.
No doubt about it. All right, John, your final thoughts, man. That's a big win, Johnny. This is a game we talked about for a long time. That's a team I think the Eagles respected. We obviously gave them a lot of credit for what they've been able to do. They've been one of the best offenses in football, been one of the best teams in football. I mean, they won 15 games last year. Your final thoughts here on after the Eagles get another big win and now kind of get to still a couple of tough games, but certainly through the toughest part of the schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it eases up, if anything. I mean, it's the NFL. Anybody can bite up and beat you because everybody's got good players. I say that all the time. And the Cowboys' history says the Eagles struggled down there at times. So can't sleep on them. Caleb Williams is a hell of a playmaker. He can beat you by himself at times. But, the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. The Eagles are better than the Bears. So, I have to look at the schedule, but Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, Raiders, Commanders, Bills. I don't think there's another game where they won't be favorites for the rest of the way. Maybe Buffalo, but
they got to be favored. Is Buffalo in Buffalo?
Yeah. Maybe Buffalo because it's in Buffalo late in the season. And the Eagles might not even have anything to play for at that point. More so than Buffalo because New England's good. So I'm gonna bet, in any meaningful game where they're playing, I'm gonna bet they're not gonna be underdogs again this season, including the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Eagles in good position, no doubt about it. 8-2, sitting at the top of the NFC.
Get out those underdog masks.
How are fans going to frame that up, John? How do you become the underdog?
They ain't the fucking underdogs. They haven't been the underdogs for a long time, but it's ingrained in Billy's self-beliefs, I guess. But you ain't the underdogs.
All right, John. Good stuff, brother. Appreciate you doing it today, man. 8-2, another win for this team. It's crazy. They just keep winning. Definitely got to give them a lot of credit for it. John, good stuff, brother. We'll talk to you tomorrow. What is on the agenda real quick? You got the Sunday game. I think it's a 4:25 game in Dallas. So the team is off today, probably not back until Wednesday. I think we're all waiting for that Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens update, but that won't
Yeah,
come.
we'll see. We'll see. With the injuries, Nick. But Nick will talk via Zoom this afternoon. Coordinators tomorrow. Back on a normal schedule. Practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for a Sunday game.
Yep, good stuff. All right, Johnny Mac, good show, brother. I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, my man.
All right. Thanks, everybody.